Hello, good morning, everyone. I am Pawan, and I will be the course instructor for this particular course, that is Power BI. And this course, the duration of this course will be for around 1.5 months. Okay, and first of all, let me start sharing my screen. Just give me a while. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, Pawan, it's visible.
Thank you. So first, let me go through the overall content of the course and yeah, how the course is divided into different parts. So the first part is where we deal with the introduction to Power BI, where we will know what is the BI development, and then we will discuss on how to install Power BI in your system, and what are the different components, individual components of Power BI. And this is because Power BI actually is a stack of components which completes the BI development from end to end. Okay, and we also will look into the overall GUI of Power BI in this particular part. Okay, then we'll move on to the second part where we will discuss the getting the data and transforming the data in Power BI, how to do it. So Power BI is a software where you can connect to 100 plus data sources as of now. And we'll discuss how to get the data from different sources into Power BI in this. And not just that, once the data is in Power BI, we'll discuss how to do the ETL within the in-house ETL tool of Power BI, which is called as the Power Query Editor. Okay, and here we'll discuss about the different storage mode, that is namely direct query mode, the live connection mode, and the import mode. And what's the difference between those modes and when exactly those modes are preferred over each other. Okay, so and once this is done, we'll discuss on some of the ETL functions which are used to clean and uh, make the data more uniform. And here we'll be using the functions like how to change the data types, how to establish the data types, how to avoid nulls and blank values, how to clean, trim, and remove unwanted columns and rows, and replacing values, pivoting, unpivoting, merging, appending, and we'll discuss what is meant by query folding. Okay, and we also will discuss on how to do the data profiling. Okay, and also how to create the new columns by making use of certain options within Power Query Editor, like there is the creation of new columns by making use of the custom columns. There is index columns. There is columns by examples. Also, we will discuss how to summarize the data by using the group by option within the Power Query Editor itself. Okay, and let's say if there's a particular dimension table missing, we will discuss on how to create that dimension table in Power Query Editor. Okay, so this all will be the part of the Power Query Editor, or the part where we get the data from different sources and transform the same. And once this is done, we'll move on to the next part where we do the data modeling within Power BI. Okay, and here we initially will discuss some of the basic data warehousing concepts which are necessary in order to completely understand the BI development. And then we'll try to understand what's the need for data model, how to create and edit the relationship between the tables in a data model. Okay, and what are the different cardinalities that are available in Power BI, namely one-to-many, one-to-one, many-to-many relationships. Okay, and we also will discuss about the cross-filter directions, that is single or bidirectional filters, how they work and how they're exactly used. Okay, and how to keep the relationships in the data model active and inactive, where to use the inactive data relationships, all that we will discuss here. And yeah, the next part is the data visualization part, where we actually do the reporting. Reporting in the sense creating different types of visualizations to make the business decisions simple for the business end. Okay, and here, before actually start using the visualizations, we'll understand which visuals to be used in which cases and scenarios. Okay, like where exactly a bar graph or bar chart is used, where exactly the line chart is used, where exactly the pie chart or donut chart is used. Okay, how to use the map charts. Okay, all this will be discussed prior to actually implementing that. Okay, and we'll discuss how all the visuals can be formatted to some custom requirements. Okay, and we'll ultimately discuss how to use certain visualizations, like what is a matrix visual, what's a table visual, and as I said, what are cluster column charts, and how to do the conditional formatting. Okay, how to use the filters within reporting, how to use the slicers, and what are the bookmarks, the application of bookmarks. Okay, the real-time scenario of the usage of bookmarks, how the KPI cards are used, how the normal cards are used, and then what is the waterfall chart. Okay, what is the decomposition tree? All these visuals will be discussed in this particular section. Okay, and yeah, the next section is called the DAX, or the data analysis expressions. And this is the coding language at the front end of the Power BI through which we can create the calculated columns and measures. So here we'll discuss about the basics of DAX, that is the introduction to DAX, then what is meant by row context and what is filter context, what are the differences between calculated columns, measures, implicit and explicit measures. Okay, and there onwards, we'll go on discussing the different DAX functions that are predominantly used over day-to-day work in business, BI development. Okay, so we'll discuss various functions like sum x, average x, the related function, the if function, switch function, and the most important of them all, the calculate function, the filter modifier functions like all except, all selected. Okay, then we will discuss on the time intelligence functions. Okay, how to create the date dimension table by using the DAX. All these things will be discussed. Usage of, let's say, for example, summarize function to create the group by tables or summary tables, how to use the variables, how to use the quick measures. Everything will be discussed in the DAX portion. And the DAX, this particular component of the course will be kind of elaborate, because the thing about data analysis expressions is that you are as good in Power BI as good you are in data analysis expressions, because while doing the reporting, it's all about achieving the customization that the business end requires, and the workaround customizations can be done better only if you have good understanding of the DAX concepts in Power BI. Okay. And once the DAX is done, yes, anyone has any doubts till now?
No problem.
Okay. Moving forward. So after the DAX part, we will discuss the Power BI service. Basically, Power BI service is the cloud component of Power BI, where we publish and share our work with the colleagues from our organization. Okay, so here we'll be discussing on introduction to Power BI service. What are the different licensing options available in Power BI service, namely Power BI free versus pro versus premium, and what are the different user access levels, that is the admin access, member access, then the contributor access, and what is the viewer access, all these things, and how to create the workspaces, how to create the reports, how to publish the reports, creating the dashboards, creating the apps, okay, and what's the gateways, how to schedule the refresh in Power BI service, and understanding the data flows, and how to create the report for the mobile layout. Okay, then what is static and dynamic row level security, how to implement incremental refresh. All these things we will be discussing in detail while doing Power BI service. And once all of this is completed, we will discuss how to build a BI resume. Then we'll discuss the conceptual interview questions and answers. And then onwards, we'll also discuss the scenario-based interview questions and answers. And over the period of this course, we will actually be developing 2 to 3 dashboards, okay, which will be nothing short of the projects which will be happening across the different organizations. Okay, so this is the overall view or overall layout of what the course is going to be. And as I said earlier, this course duration is going to be around minimum 45 days. Okay, so that this is what it is. So any doubts on the course, people?
So, what is the roadmap for Power BI developers?
Okay, if no one has any doubts, then let's move on with the introduction of Power BI. Okay, so first of all, let me share the content. Okay. So first of all, let's try to understand what the business intelligence is before going into the Power BI tool. Okay. So business intelligence basically is, I mean, it can simply be summarized by this image which you are seeing here, or this slide basically which you are seeing here. So what's happening here is that a table with lots of data, or basically we can say call it as a relational database. Okay, so this is converted to what you're seeing on the right hand side. Okay, so what is this? If you just look into this table, all you can see is some of the columns and some of the values in it. And the thing about that is, just by looking into this table, you'll not be able to figure out what that data is trying to inform you exactly. Okay, whereas if this table, let's say the data from this table is converted to some of the visuals like this. For example, consider this visual. Okay, so what it says, it gives you the top 5 products in terms of YTD sales. Okay, so here it shows you the top 5 products and their respective sales. Okay, YTD sales. So you'll come to know where to invest and where to not just by looking into this particular visual. If you consider this visual, it is telling you what's the YTD sales till now. And compared to previous year, is it increasing or decreasing? Also, it will show you a trend graph of the sales, which you're seeing here. Okay, the trend line, which is here, it is nothing but the trend of the sales. Similarly, this third visual is trying to show you the distribution of sales across different states of USA. Okay, so these visuals, what happens is that these visuals are easy to understand by the business and prospective, and they are easier to make the business decisions simple. So in gross terms, conversion of this kind of data to this data is called as the business intelligence. Okay. And as easy it might seem, the real work actually that is from the back end till the front end where we develop this report, it consists of many stages and many workarounds. Okay. So let's try to understand the overall um, uh, overall layout of how the business intelligence happens in the organizations. Okay, the stage by stage thing, how it happens from end to end. Let's try to understand it. Okay, so at the left hand side, what you are seeing here is the data which is coming from the different data sources. In some instances, it might be coming from some relational database management systems. In some instances, it might be coming from some Excel files or CSV files, or maybe let's say the Microsoft Access database or some other database like some transaction database systems, SAP systems, maybe something might be coming from the JSON files, or it might be anything. Okay. So these are the data coming from the different sources. Okay. Now, next, what happens is all of this data is brought into a platform called as stage environment. And this stage environment, this one here, what it is called ETL. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. Okay. So what happens here is the data is extracted from different sources, and then onwards, it is transformed. So transformation in the sense you just convert the data into the form that you want. Let's say if we want to remove the blanks and nulls from the data, that is done here. If we want to remove some unwanted columns, we can do it here. If we want some unwanted rows, that also can be done here. And let's say if you want to uh, change the data types or establish the data types, all those things can be done in this environment called a staging environment where the ETL is done. Okay. And ETL is actually done by, I mean, in the big projects in the organizations, ETL is done by some of the dedicated ETL tools, like, for example, Informatica, or some of the tools which Microsoft themselves offer, that is, let's say, Azure Data Factory, or sometimes this is done in things like Snowflake, or many tools which are available. Okay. So once the ETL process is done, the data is brought actually into a central repository where all the data is stored, and this is called as the data warehouse. Okay. So here the data from all the domains, for example, sales, marketing, then HR, then the operations. Okay, from all the domains, the data will be stored into the data warehouse. And data warehouse actually is some of the tools and techniques used to create the central repository where the data can be stored, we can say permanently. Okay, so this is data warehouse. And in the data warehouse, based on the domain of data that we need, let's say, for instance, we are our aim is to, let's say, create the sales dashboard. Okay, then what we do out of this data warehouse, we create the subset of the data which has the data only from the sales domain. Okay, and that subset of the data warehouse which we create for sales domain basically is called as data mart. Similarly, we can create the subsets for different domain based upon the requirements. Such subsets of the main data warehouse are called as data marts. Okay. And once we are done with creating the data that we want for our particular reporting, then we bring that data into the ultimate BI tools. Okay. So in the BI tools, as I said, we can again transform the data, model the data, and again, we can do the ultimate reporting, okay, by doing some front-end coding. And these BI tools they may be Power BI, it might be maybe Tableau or Spotfire, Grafana, ClickSense, it can be anything. And ultimate goal is to make the reporting out of the raw data which you extract in this case. Okay. So any doubts till now, people?
No.
Sir,
Yeah, please go ahead.
Nyanraj here. Do we need to learn different type of BI tools like Power BI, Tableau, or any one of them can do the job?
See, any one of them is enough. The thing is that you will not be required to work on many BI tools. Okay. In one organization, they will be using one of the BI tools. Okay. But yeah, the scenario might be like sometimes what the organization they decide is they want to shift from one BI tool to another BI tool. So in that case, in that particular scenario, you might have to acquire the knowledge to the new BI tool. But if in case that happens, the organizations they will give you time to learn the new stuff, and yeah, that is how it is. And also, you need one more scenario where you might need the information about multiple BI tools is where you are doing the projects related to data migration. For instance, there might be a scenario where there are certain dashboards which are created by Tableau. However, the business end, they want you to convert those Tableau dashboards into Power BI dashboards. And when I say conversion, it actually is not a conversion. It is actually doing the dashboard all together from end to end. And to do that, you'll also need to understand how the Tableau works because implementing the functionality will be different in Power BI and Tableau because Power BI works in a different manner and so does Tableau. So in those scenarios, it might be useful to understand how the different BI tools work. But however, whenever those scenarios come, the organizations, they will give you time to acclimatize yourself to the new BI tools. So that's the thing. Okay. And presently, in the data analysis of BI development, Power BI is the most used BI tool. That is for sure. Yeah. Any more
Yes,
doubts?
thank you, sir.
Okay,
Yeah, I have one question here.
please go ahead.
Is on this side. Yeah. Like to learn only Power BI, it will helpful for job, or do we need to learn any supportive database or something else with that?
Yeah. Okay. See, first of all, you have to be very good in Power BI, and that includes the DAX as well. Okay. So that's the first and foremost thing. Along with that, if you have the knowledge of SQL, now when I say SQL, you should know how to make the joins at least. Okay. So if you have that knowledge, then you are good to do the data analysis or BI development from end to end. Because the thing is that this part, the ETL part, will be done by the data engineers who will be extracting the data from different sources and they will be storing it in the data warehouse. However, in some of the projects or in most of the projects presently, the part where we bring the data from the data warehouse to Power BI is done by the BI developers themselves. And this part actually involves making use of the SQL. Okay. And yeah, most of the times it might be, it might be some different tools here. Like in some cases, it might be Azure Synapse Data Lake. Sometimes it might be Oracle database systems. In some cases, it might be Snowflake data systems. Okay. But ultimately, you need to use the query, which is the SQL itself. Okay. So if you are good in SQL along with Power BI, then that is enough for you to become a good BI developer or even a data analyst. Hope that answers the question.
Yes. So will we learn SQL part also in this course? Whatever is required.
Come again?
Like I'm asking, do we learn SQL also in this course?
No, this
Whatever
course
part of SQL is
specifically
required for Power
covers
BI.
Power BI. I mean, this course doesn't cover the SQL. Okay. However, the part where we bring the data from SQL, how to connect to the SQL server in the backend through Power BI, that definitely will be discussed. Yeah. But this
Okay.
is, I mean, this is not the SQL course where we'll discuss SQL in detail. This course is specific to Power BI.
Thank you very much.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Anyone else has any doubts?
Hello. I'm here. Sir. Hello.
Hello, your voice is very low.
Hello, sir. I want to know, sir, what is the roadmap for Power BI developers?
What is the
Roadmap for Power BI developers.
roadmap for
Yeah.
becoming a Power BI developer is what
Yes,
you're
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. See, first of all, if I talk about the roadmap, okay, so the first thing, as I said, is to understand what is the business intelligence, how it works, and then how do we get the data from different sources, and what is meant by Power Query Editor, okay, and how to do the data modeling, then how to do the DAX, and ultimately how to do the reporting. Okay, this is what the roadmap of becoming Power BI developer. Okay, and the thing is that along the way you will learn a lot of things. A lot of things like you will learn also the data warehousing concepts. Okay, so all that is required for becoming a BI developer. Okay, and also the I mean, if you want to work in the organizations, you have to understand the terms like what is the agile development, what is the sprints. Okay, so those are small things actually, but ultimately to become a Power BI developer, you will have to understand mainly the business intelligence and how to be very good in Power BI tool, because ultimately the business and they will be regularly sending you the new requirements. So if you're good in Power BI, then you can complete those requirements in a short span of time and give them good results. Okay, so that's what it is.
So it is necessary to learn Python also.
Python, not necessary, but SQL is definitely necessary.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Fine. Yeah, if nobody has any more doubts, then we can continue with this. So, yeah, please.
Is this Power BI course useful for someone who is aspiring business analyst?
Come again. Is this course for someone who is aspiring business analyst?
Yes.
And when you say business analyst, you mean the one who is not a BI developer, or what is your expectation exactly? Can you be more specific on that?
Business analyst
Hmm.
role who bridges the gap between development team and the
Yes.
client.
Okay. So basically, business analyst, what he does is he takes the requirement from the business and he conveys the requirement to the BI team and the data engineers, as well as he should have the knowledge of, I mean, knowledge of the backend as well as front end, like the SQL, the Excel sheets, the Power BI. Okay. So yes, I mean, this will be helpful for them also, because ultimately business analyst also has to show the reports to the business end, or maybe what are the new requirements that has been conveyed from the business end and he might need to communicate it with the BI development team. So yes, this will definitely help the business analyst as well. Okay. And yeah, business analyst, if he has good knowledge of Power BI, then what he can do is he can actually understand whether the requirement in terms of the development has been fulfilled exactly or not. Okay, so he can correctly verify whether the BI development, what they are conveying, the requirement, has it been completely fulfilled or not. So yeah, it'll be helpful for BAs as well as the data analysts as well. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. So let's move forward. So as I said, the data warehouse, that's the central repository of the data, it might contain, I mean, it will contain all the data related to whatever the projects that are going in the organization. And it might contain the data like metadata. Metadata is actually the information about the data which is stored. And it might contain the data in the summary form. It might contain the data in the raw form as well. So out of this data warehouse, we will be making the subsets of the data, which are called as data marts. And these data marts will be ultimately used to get the reporting. So this is how it works in the data warehouse. Okay. So that's what this thing is about. Okay. So first of all, let's try to understand about the business intelligence. Okay. So first things first, the raw data or the data which is in the tabular form, it is hard to read. Hard to read in the sense you can read it for sure, but it is actually hard to draw the conclusions from. Okay. You will not be able to understand just by looking at the table that what is the trend of the sales, what is the trend of, let's say, the profits. Okay. Because it'll all be random. Okay. So you'll not be able to understand it perfectly. And hence, the BI tools are used to convert the raw data into business data. Business data is where the data is in visual form and it is easier to read and make the business decisions simple. Okay. So this is what the business intelligence is actually: conversion of raw data into business data, or the data which is easy to derive the conclusions from, or to make the business decisions simple. Okay. Now, here are some of the BI tools which are presently very often used. One is Power BI, then there is Tableau, then there is ClickView, or it's also called as ClickSense. There is Alteryx, there is MSBI, there is SAP BI, and then there is some in-house BI tool from IBM as well. And there is Spotfire, there is Grafana, there are many BI tools presently which are used in market. Okay. Then the thing is that Power BI has developed more demand over all of these other BI tools over last few years. Okay. And that is due to some of its capabilities. So first and foremost thing is that Power BI, it has the connection with more than 100 data sources presently. It has direct connection available with SQL, with Oracle, with IBM DB, with Azure. Okay, you say it and you have it. It's as simple as that in Power BI. Okay, you can connect to the Excel sheets. Okay, yeah. Anyone has something to ask? Okay, fine. And also, one more thing is that Power BI has the integration with the Microsoft's own tools, like there's Teams, there's Outlook. Okay, so Power BI has integration with those tools, and Teams is almost used everywhere now for the collaboration of work in organizations. So that is an important thing. And yeah, and one more important thing why Power BI is predominantly used is the thing that it is cheaper compared to most of the BI tools which are enlisted here. Okay, it is cheaper than Tableau, it's cheaper than ClickView, ClickSense. Okay, so that's also one more important thing. And since Power BI has the usage of DAX, it means that you can achieve most of the customizations that are possible by using the workarounds through DAX. Okay, so we'll understand this in detail when we are actually dealing with DAX in this course. Okay, but yeah, the bottom line is that through Power BI, we can achieve almost any kind of customizations through workaround methods. Okay, so that is one more advantage. Okay. Now, the thing to be understood is that Power BI is not a single tool, but it is a stack of components. And when I say stack of components, I mean these components. One is the Power BI desktop, then there comes Power BI service, which is a cloud-based application, okay? Or we can say it's a web app, okay? So it's that. Then there is a Power BI mobile app. The thing is, this is very rarely used, and this is almost not used to do the development. Sometimes the business and people, they might use it. I mean, I have not come across a scenario still till now where they were even using it. Okay. But yeah, the business and people, they might use it to view the dashboards in their smartphones, but it's very rare. Okay. Then we have the Power BI servers, basically the server computers where the Power BI can be fed to multiple systems. So we have Power BI servers, and then there is the Power BI report builder, which is used to develop the paginated reports. Okay. So in our course, we will be discussing the Power BI desktop and the Power BI service, because ultimately we will understand how to create the Power BI reporting, which can be opened in the mobile app as well. But developing Power BI in mobile, it usually is not done, and yeah, it cannot be done. Okay. And then we will not be having the access to Power BI servers. So, and the Power BI report builder is actually done by using also some of the other tools like SSRS, which are used to build the paginated reports. So our course will be mainly Power BI desktop and Power BI service, which is what actually used in organizations. If you're good in Power BI desktop and you know how the things go on in Power BI service, that is what you exactly need to become a Power BI developer. Okay. So yeah, so this is about the different components of Power BI. Any doubts till now, people? Okay. And as far as this course is concerned, it'll not be a theoretical course. It'll be a course where we do the stuff in Power BI. And let me just show you the kind of the dashboards that we will be developing. So yeah, so if you look at this, so this has the data from various sources. Okay. So if you look into the data view, it has the data from various sources, different tables. Okay. And out of which we will be making the dashboard to analyze many things. Okay, so this presently is a sales dashboard, but we also will be doing one more different dashboard. It's called MUIS dashboard. Okay, so we'll do lots and lots of analysis over the various aspects of, for example, sales or the MUIS business. Okay, and we'll develop different types of visuals. Let's say, for example, the cluster column visuals, the donut charts, the tree maps, and the custom visual which you're seeing here, which is going from here to here, which is called a scroller. We'll understand what is the custom visuals, how to use those, and how to get the top 5 products, how to use the map visuals. Everything will be discussed in very much detail in this particular course. And what are how the customization can be achieved in the visuals, what are the waterfall charts, what are the simple sparkline visuals. Okay, so everything will be discussed in very much detail. Okay, so this is how the course will be like. Okay, and then let's try to understand the different what is the usage or what is done in each of the components of Power BI. Okay, so when it comes to Power BI desktop, okay, the things that can be done in Power BI desktop are we can do the ETL within Power BI by usage of the in-house ETL tool of Power BI called as Power Query Editor. Okay, and of course we can get the data from different sources in Power BI desktop. Then we can do the data modeling in Power BI desktop. We can visualize the data by using the reporting capabilities of Power BI Desktop by doing various visuals, okay? And we can also analyze the data by using the DAX. Okay, so all these things can be done within Power BI Desktop. And when it comes to Power BI Service, usually what happens in the organizations is they develop everything in Power BI Desktop application. And when it comes to sharing the stuff or the work with the business end, they use Power BI Service, which is the cloud-based application, to publish, share, and collaborate their work with the people from their organization or with the business side. Okay. Whereas this third thing, the Power BI mobile app, is used only to review the content, not to develop any content, but it might be used to review the content which has already been developed by someone else. You can just use it to view the dashboards. That's it, nothing else. Okay. Just give me a minute. So let's try to understand the building blocks of Power BI, or basically what constitutes Power BI. Okay. So first thing is the data sets. The data sets are nothing but it might be, let's say, the database. It might be the data in the tabular form like we have in Excel or CSVs, or basically the tables containing the data are called as data sets. Or it might be sometimes a setup with the multiple tables. Okay, so these are called as the data sets. We will be connecting to data sets in Power BI to do the visualizations. Okay, and hence the data sets are important because without the data sets, there won't be any data at all. Okay. Then there comes the visualizations. You all know the visualizations are nothing but the visual aspects in the reporting where we can see the data. Okay. So here, for example, we have different visuals like there is a map visual here. There is a card visual. There's a bar. There's a column chart. There's a pie chart. All these things are called the visuals. Okay. And then we have the tiles. The tiles in the sense, each visual, it takes some particular space here. Okay. And this particular layout for each visual is called one tile. For example, this is one tile which belongs to this particular column chart. Okay. This particular tile, it belongs to the map chart. Okay. So these confined spaces where each visual appears, these are called as tiles. Okay. Then comes the reports. This whole thing, this whole file which you're seeing here, this is called as the whole report. A report consists of many pages in Power BI Desktop. Okay, it might consist of as many pages as you want. There's no limit to that. Okay, so that is about the reports. And also there's a thing called as dashboards. Okay, now what happens in the BI development is that across the organizations, people use the term reports and dashboards synonymously. But when it comes to Power BI, or to be specific, Power BI Service, that is not the case, because reports and dashboards, they both hold a different meaning. The thing is that in Power BI Service, out of different reports, we can develop a single dashboard. Okay, and one more difference is that reports will be consisting of many pages. However, a dashboard will be having only one page. And the thing is, it goes on becoming lengthier and lengthier, the dashboard. Okay, it will never have many pages. Let me quickly try showing you the dashboards and reports in Power BI Service that we have done. Let me see if that's accessible. It's taking a bit of time to get loaded. Let me just wait a minute. Yeah, I think it has loaded. Okay. Fine. So this is what the Power BI service looks like. Okay. And it has many workspaces in which the reports and dashboards can be stored. Okay. And don't worry about this right away. We'll be discussing this in complete detail in the later stages. Okay. So right now, if you see here, there is a report which is called films. Okay. And a report basically will be consisting of many pages. Okay. Report will be consisting of many pages like this. Okay. And out of the existing reports, we can do one more thing, which is called as the dashboard. And let me show you how the dashboard looks like. This is the dashboard. The dashboard will be having a single page. Okay. And a dashboard can be made out of many reports, and you can take specific visuals from different reports and put it into a dashboard. Okay. So with respect to Power BI service, as I said, the reports and dashboards, they hold a different meaning. Okay. So this is the thing about the reports and yeah, the dashboards. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts till now, people? Okay. So let's cover one more thing in this class. Okay. That is, we'll try to just understand the basic GUI of the Power BI desktop. Okay. Or what are the different views that are available in Power BI desktop. Okay. So let's say if I open Power BI desktop, okay, and right now I'm opening an existing report. Okay. So in the left side, if you see, there are three options. One is the report view. The second one is called the table view, or this is also called as data view. And the third view is the model view. Okay. So the thing about this is, in the report view, you can actually see the report. Reports means the visuals. Okay. You can see the multiple pages in the report, and you can read the visuals. And if you have the access, you can also edit the reports, edit the visuals as well. Okay. So this is about the report view. And in the report view, you have the options like how to format a particular visual, okay, how to add the data to the visual, okay, all these things. Okay. So this is about the report view. Then when it comes to the data view or the table view, here the thing is that here you can see all the tables in the relation database form. Okay. So like how they are visible in Excel, the similar way they'll be visible in Power BI as well. Okay. So this is the table view. And thirdly, there comes the model view, where you can see how these tables are actually related to each other. Let me show you. So here you can see the connection between the different tables, how each table is related to one another, and you can see whether the star schema has been followed or snowflake schema has been followed. Right now, don't worry about the different schemas. The schemas will be discussed in detail. But the bottom line is that in the data view, you can see how the different tables are connected with each other. What's the type of cardinality established between them, and what is the type of filtering that is coming between them. Okay, is it a single directional filter or a bidirectional filter? Everything will be known in this particular view. Okay, so this is about the three different views of the Power BI. One is reporting, and second one is the table view, and third one is the model view. Okay, so any doubt with respect to this, people, till now?
Okay.
Okay, fine then. So I think we can conclude here. And from tomorrow's class onwards, we will start actually bringing from bringing the data from different sources. We'll be bringing data from different sources like the Excel sheet, the flat files, the SQL database, MySQL database, and maybe also we'll try to connect to web by using Power BI and get the data from the web also. Okay, so it starts with this thing, and then there onwards we'll go into detail into Power Query editor. Okay, so this is what it is. So till now, any doubts from anyone, people? About the course or anything?
I have a question, Pavan.
Please go ahead.
I'm Himani. So we'll have class Monday to Friday, correct?
Yes, Monday to Friday. That's right.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
And yes, one more thing I forgot. You will be getting the assignments after each and every class. Okay, and not just the assignments. Assignments will be assignments will be coming with the assignment solutions as well, solution files as well. But yeah, you have to go to the solution files only if you're not able to complete the assignments. Okay, so there'll be assignments and all the class files, that is basically the work that we do in the class, those also will be shared. I mean, the initial file and the final file where the work is complete, those will be shared along with all the, let's say, the materials as well. Okay, so this is what the course is going to be.
Hello, sir. I have question, sir.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, why we are not using a Excel? So what is the difference between Excel and Power BI?
What is the difference? I mean, why we are not, you mean to say why we are not using Excel
Yes, sir.
itself to do all these things, right?
Yeah, yes,
Because
sir.
the question is legit because if you go to advanced Excel, you can do these visualizations there as well. But the main question comes as into the further capabilities of Excel, whether it's possible for us by Excel to connect to all the data sources that we can do from Power BI. So that we cannot do. Also, whether it's possible for us to use the custom visuals via Excel or the customization capabilities that we do in Power BI, whether it's possible in Excel, that is not the thing, cannot be done. Okay. And also, Power BI also comes with the Power BI service, right? Where you can publish your work and collaborate with the business end, which also is not possible just by Excel. So that's the reason we have Power BI here. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, anything else? Okay. Let me stop sharing then. And let me also stop the recording.
So one thing,